Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Burger. I'm Caroline Romo, Executive Director of the New Mexico Beef Council. We're here with Tom Spindle. What town are we in?
Stanley, New Mexico.
Yeah, we're in Stanley. Okay, so will you introduce yourself and kind of start with the background? You can even tell them where we're sitting too if you want.
Okay, we're actually in a fancy pig barn here in Stanley, New Mexico that my son-in-law and his wife built, Josh and Abby. So just a quick introduction. I'm Tom Spindle from the Bill King Ranch in Stanley, New Mexico. Me and my wife have been married for 32 years. We raised 4 children here on the ranch. She is the 5th generation on the ranch, and we currently have the 6th and 7th generation living on the ranch, all the way down to 12 months old.
That's perfect.
Of course, her dad, Bill King, is still involved heavily. He's here daily. So we all get along good, and we all have the same vision and goals, I guess, in the ranch. Right now, we almost strictly raise seed stock cattle. Hereford, Charolais, and Angus. Bulls primarily is what we market to commercial breeders. This ranch, I told you we're 7 generations deep now, so the ranch has been in my wife's family, homesteaded by her great-grandfather, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
it would have been, I think we celebrated our centennial 5 years ago. So
Congratulations.
It's something that has stayed in the family for a long time. It's really neat.
I think that family legacy is probably the coolest thing.
It is.
About
it really
a New
is.
Mexico ranch or a ranch in general. Just that 100 years, how many things have been in business for 100 years?
Not many.
Yeah, right. It's agriculture, typically.
Yeah.
So we love that, and we love the family legacy. And then, so we talk about seed stock, and of course, the goal of the podcast is to talk to people that don't know about the beef industry.
Right.
You kind of mentioned it. Seed stock usually means bulls. It's breeding animals, right? Is that how
Right,
you would describe that?
So basically, they're the seed for commercial breeders. So we also sell females too. That if people need some replacement females, purebreds, or we even sometimes have commercial heifers, but we'll sell those, and then they can cross them with whatever bull they want. In this industry, you almost have to have a commercial crossbred calf and utilize the heterosis. So we sell purebred bulls to commercial guys, and it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do that. Throughout the nation, right?
Oh yeah, we send them all over from coast to coast and from Canada to Mexico. So
yeah,
and we sell them all private treaty. It's quite a bit of work selling 400 to 500 bulls annually private treaty, but we've got great customers, and I sell them in big lots. So
yeah, love that. What do you think is the most rewarding part of being in the beef industry?
All of it. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. It's hard work. You're always battling something. If it's not, the market is not where you need it to be, then you're dealing with bad weather. Every once in a while, everything's just great. The weather's good. The prices are high, but we're always kind of struggling with something. And it's you kind of just get used to it. I mean, you're always kind of waiting for the next bad thing to happen. It sounds bad, but it's not. The best part of it is we're kind of our own bosses. We make our own decisions, good or bad. We stick by them. We change not necessarily our goals, but our route to get to where we need to be, depending on things that we can't control.
Well, in most everything that you deal with, you can't control.
Right.
Markets and weather. That's an interesting thing. You don't get to set prices necessarily, or I guess in some ways you do, but it's based on the market that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Feed and fuel and all the things.
And really, it's Mother Nature. Everything could be going great, and you could have a horrible storm when you're calving, and it would really hurt you bad financially. Or you could just have a drought. We're in a pretty substantial drought right now. The whole West is. So yeah, you just got to be willing to be flexible and don't get discouraged and just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think that probably is why the beef industry has such great humans.
Yeah.
That flexibility, having to adapt, having to deal with things outside of our control.
Right.
I think that's a really special quality. So you already mentioned the drought, but how do New Mexico's landscapes and climate shape your operation?
We intentionally do not get our bulls overly conditioned prior to selling them. And it's kind of difficult because I will sell bulls year round. So I can't feed the bulls to a specific sale date. So we have to keep them, I say athletic and lean, because we know a lot of the range country they're going to go on is, subpar as far as forage, and they're going to have to move a lot. So we try and intentionally raise bulls that can get out and hustle and find feed and breed cows. That's the most important thing.
So they're extremely adapted or ready,
Yes,
prepared for
yes.
New Mexico's
Yes,
harsher
dry and-
conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arid landscape, and they perform up north where they get substantial rain, probably even better than they do here. So
Yeah, they're ready for it to be tough, but they could thrive
Yeah.
where it's not
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
like
'cause-
all of us,
Yeah.
like all of us in the industry. Yeah,
Absolutely. If you can handle when it's tough, you can handle when
Exactly.
it's good.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Do you, and then I think, just, an example of New Mexico too, of that, we've been talking, we were at the AgriFuture conference where you hosted a tour and they were, you talk about the differences of landscapes, New Mexico versus other places. Some places they say you don't want your cattle to travel a half a mile for water.
Yeah.
And in New Mexico, it's probably a mile, and sometimes they're
Many
willing
miles
to go
sometimes.
4 or 5
Yes,
miles,
yes, yeah.
or they have to go. And so that differences in New Mexico, I thought was an interesting
It
thing
is.
that we learned about last
It
week.
is, and the animal units per acre in New Mexico varies so much from north to south, from east to west. It's, if you're down in Ana County, it's a lot of acres per cow. So,
Yeah.
so you got to have cows that can travel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know someone was telling me recently, they say usually New Mexico is about 60 acres per animal. And I thought maybe if you do the mathematical average, but there's people that are 120, 150 and
Yeah, absolutely.
and more because of drought and because of access to water. So
And that's the other thing is, we always talk averages, but it seems like our averages we're spanning from really wet to really dry. So that average is kind of hard to figure into because you may be feeding cows for 5 years and then you may have abundant rain for 5 years. It's usually about a 10-year cycle.
yeah, absolutely. It's a big extremes, big differences. Well, can you give an example of how you care for your cattle to support their health and well-being? I know you talked about your vaccine protocol on the tour, or
Yeah.
but yeah, how do you take good care of the cows and bulls?
I could spend hours just talking about health on cattle because our cattle, and not to be like diminishing the value of a commercial calf, but the purebred cattle are worth more money.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, I mean that's a no-brainer. But if we lose one bull calf, that's pretty substantial. So we worked with vets and we worked with some medicine companies, and we came up with a vaccine protocol that has worked very well for us. Our death loss is almost zero now,
Wow.
but it's very intensive. We vaccinate them at birth and then all the way till they're adults. But we have to, because the value in the cattle, especially now,
Yeah.
you do not want to lose a calf.
Right. Well, and I always think that's a great explanation is absolutely we care for the cattle.
Yeah.
You care about the
We
cattle.
care about them financially and
And-
also because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's ethical. It's moral, and
Yeah.
then it's also financial, and that's an easy,
Absolutely,
That's an
yep.
easy story to
Yep.
tell, right? Absolutely. Well, that's perfect. And then we do consumer studies too, and the good news is when you ask consumers, they trust ranchers and they trust veterinarians.
That's good.
Well, you are the rancher and you are consulting a veterinarian.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
I hope people can have trust in that, right? Tell me about a time where you made a sacrifice or overcame a challenge.
We're constantly sacrificing in this industry. Probably the biggest sacrifice maybe was time with the family. But on that same note, my kids were almost always with me when I was doing stuff. So sure, I didn't make every soccer game, but they got to go around every day with me on the ranch. So that's, I mean, it's give and take. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time is a big one.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest challenges you face in your operation today?
Today it's the weather. It's absolutely the weather. We really need a rain bad. We're feeding majority of our cows right now because we don't want to ruin our turf. We don't want to overgraze, and we pretty much grazed off big percentage of last year's grass. So we figure we better feed them a little bit. And we have a farm here, so we're fortunate enough to where we have some feed to feed them. And really, that's it. That's the only thing we're struggling with right now. Of course, the market's great right now, and the excitement's great about the cattle industry. So
Yeah, that's a positive.
yeah,
I do love that it's cool to be a cowboy right now.
yeah, me too.
And that beef demand is
Yeah,
high. It's a fun time to
it is. Yeah.
be involved. What's one thing most people don't realize about raising beef in New Mexico?
Probably just the struggles, and just because you've got a big ranch doesn't mean you're very wealthy. It's because a rancher drives a nice pickup. That's a tool. It's not a status symbol. It's, we need the pickup that costs $80,000 and it used to cost $30,000. So it's always a struggle, and majority of the commercial breeders in the state are just living from sale check to sale check, which may be 12 months. So none of us are getting rich. That's the challenge. Even with the cattle prices high right now, I just tell everybody we may be adding a zero to our check that we're receiving, but we're also adding a zero to our expenditures, so fuel, fertilizer, feed, all the stuff that you absolutely have to have, health insurance. I mean, everything is just skyrocketing. So we're not really making any more money.
Yeah, it's thin margins.
It's terribly thin margins.
Yeah, it's like you said, you had a zero on both sides of it.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. It maybe it feels better when you see that check coming from the sale barn, but it's not that much better.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, a modern operation, you've got to be paying attention to every zero, every penny, every, even though pennies aren't out there anymore, right?
Yeah.
We're still keeping track of every penny because it is thin margins, right?
It is.
And
yeah.
you've got a family and you've got employees to take care of and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the cost of employees is up, right?
Yeah.
You've got to, because they've got to buy groceries and they've got to
Exactly.
have
It
health
all
insurance.
just kind of runs downhill, and everybody's got to pay their share.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hope consumers from this podcast and from every episode we do, I hope they understand that it's not a get rich scheme. It's thin margins. It has to do with passion and care and all of that, right?
Yeah.
What's something you're excited about in your operation right now?
So at the cattle growers summer meetings, we had a gentleman from Oklahoma State tell us that it was going to be a very substantial monsoon season and El Nino. So I'm still excited about that, but I'm also being patient because we're way dry right now, but I'm excited about that. And of course the market's just great. And like you said, there's just excitement, and it's cool to be a cowboy again. And I think people are really starting to get the message that we care for our livestock and our farmland and our rangeland, and we just want to be good stewards of what God has let us borrow. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys even get that consumer interaction, right? With your wife selling direct to consumer, right?
So we sell a lot of freezer meat, and people just love it. They love the fact that they know where the meat's coming from, and that we grow our own food or our own feed for the cattle.
Yeah.
So it's just, soccer mom that lives in Albuquerque just feels great about it. To know where some of them, I've even had several people come out and they want to see the cattle before we harvest them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, that's beautiful. Like, yeah, it is. And it's
Like,
going to
yeah,
look
it is.
beautiful on your plate as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. I think that's really special, and we've got the local beef directory. You guys are on that, or the New Mexico beef directory, and we love that. If you are able to buy direct from a rancher, that's a great opportunity.
It is.
Absolutely.
And it's, the only downfall is it's a little more money up front because we don't sell one steak at a time. We sell packages or halves or quarters or whatever they need. But really in the long run, it's still substantially cheaper and a better product than you'll get at the local grocery store.
Well, and you just got to have a good freezer too,
That's
right?
it. You got to have a
You gotta
freezer.
have the freezer
You got to have a
space.
freezer. Yep.
Perfect. What is your favorite part of the work you do day to day?
That's a good question. Probably my best answer to that is that it's never the same day twice. I mean, I know lots of guys that took jobs in offices or even construction or whatever, and they just do the same repeating job day after day, and it gets pretty boring. So, I never know what I'm going to do each day. I just wake up and figure out which fire needs to be put out first, and then we, of course, as the seasons change, like right now, we're transitioning from breeding season on the cattle into we'll be harvesting crops before we know it. Fall will be here soon, so.
Yeah.
So it's always changing. I guess that's the best part.
Yeah, the diversity of
Yeah.
it. Because you can't, I know there's a lot of videos online right now that kind of joke about, I wanted to set my own hours. They just happen to be hundreds of hours a week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that part. It is nonstop, but it is, like you said, it's varied. So
It
you
is.
stay
is.
hooked.
Yep.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
So I had the privilege of working here on the ranch when I was in high school. And then, of course, when me and my wife got married, we spent a lot of time with Bruce King and Bill King. And I just, the amount of information and advice I got from them, I can't even think of one thing that's special, but it's been a lifetime of what to do and what not to do, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that mentorship is a really important
absolutely.
part of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's something people might not know about you outside of ranching?
There's not much of me outside of ranching. So me and my kids and Becky as well, we of course we're outdoorsy. I think most ranchers are, but
Yeah.
we live to hunt and fish. And we've always spent a lot of time in the barn with show animals. And one thing a lot of people probably don't know about me is we showed goats and sheep and pigs and everything along with the cattle. And I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed livestock judging with the kids and 4-H and FFA, all that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
that's about it. That's about all we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great way to grow up.
Yeah.
I loved 4-H. It was an important part
Me
of
too.
my
Yep.
my childhood
Yeah.
too, and that's perfect. And obviously, we're sitting in the pig barn,
Yeah.
so it stayed
Yeah.
it stayed in
did.
the blood.
It did. It really did.
So why do you do what you do? What keeps you going?
So really, I kind of touched on this. It's just the opportunity to make changes, I guess, and see your labor pay off. Does that make sense? Like, we know we're all working towards something, but when we do something right, it sure works out, and everybody's happy financially and for the livestock. And also the fact that, like I said, we're always doing something different. We don't get bored here. There's no time to get bored. And just the ability to be close to the family all the time. So we eat lunch together every single day. That's why I told you we had to be at 1:30.
Oh, because it's lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
And so it's great just to have the family around, and even, the little bitty ones that are 12 months old to granddad that's 75 now. We all get together. So that's probably the best part of it.
Oh, that's unmistakably a
Yeah.
wonderful thing.
It is.
Absolutely.
It really is. And to have generations bouncing stuff off each other is great.
Yeah.
As far as day-to-day operations. So, and I don't always agree with what my kids want to do. And my father-in-law doesn't always agree with what I want to do, but somehow we always come to a happy place to meet in the middle. And it's probably the best place to be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That ability to work with family, like anytime you're in a family business, it's not always perfect. There's not always
No, it can be
every
tough.
day.
It can be tough.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then in the end, you guys can influence each other in positive ways.
right.
And
Well, like I said at the beginning, if we all have the same goal, we may have different routes to getting there, but we're all going to get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and learn with each other.
Right.
That's perfect. That's a great reason to keep going
It is.
and deal with the drought.
Yeah.
Um,
We've seen worse.
yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I have heard that before. Hopefully we won't see worse in the future.
No, I hope not.
Is there anything you'd like? I think we kind of already said it, but what would you hope consumers know about the beef industry? What do you want people to know?
Yeah, just kind of like what I said, that if we're raising these cattle and we're doing the best we can to raise, a healthy, stable source of protein, and it's we take a lot of pride in it, I guess you could say, and I dang sure wouldn't sell a product that I wouldn't feed to my own kids or grandkids. Does that make sense? I mean, who else? You can't argue with that, right?
No, not at all. Not
So
at
the
all.
most important things in my life, I would feed the same product that I'm selling. So I think that's probably the best thing to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What advice would you give someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Gonna have to be tough. It is not easy. It's not easy. Even my son, I tell him, you got to get up and go to work early every single morning, not just 5 days a week. You don't get to take Christmas or Easter off. We still get up and go check cows. And it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It's not like a job that at 3 o'clock on Friday, you punch out or whatever, and don't even think about it till Monday. No, we're always, if we're not like in the field, if we're sitting around the dining room table, we're talking about cows,
Yeah.
trying to think of a better way to do something.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a job, it's a way of life, I guess. So you better just pull your boots up, and it's going to be tough,
Absolutely.
but worth it. Like I said, it's worth it. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your current favorite way to eat beef? Or maybe an all-time favorite, but I like to say current favorite because you might have
Of course, I'm a steak and hamburger guy, cheeseburger. I think me and my wife can make a steak on our Traeger grill in the backyard better than I could buy one at any steakhouse. I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, I bet.
It really is. And I would like to have just a T-bone or a cooked in the backyard on the grill.
Yeah.
That's my favorite meal, probably. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's perfect. And I was gonna say hard to mess up. It's your own beef. It's your
Yeah.
own backyard. And love that.
Yeah, I don't even like to buy steaks generally when we go to dinner,
It's hard.
when we go out, because they're not as good as I can make or my wife can make. So I usually get shrimp or something when we go out to dinner.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Well, now I understand if I'm with the cattleman at dinner and they order shrimp, it's because
Yeah,
it's not their
that's
own
it.
beef.
And I'm not the only one that said that. I've heard several guys tell me that. No, I can eat steaks at home.
Yeah, yeah. If we go out, we want to try something different.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you won't catch me eating out and not eating beef because I work for the
Oh
beef
yeah, you have
industry.
to.
I don't
Yeah,
want to get
I
caught.
get it. Yep, I get it.
And I don't have my own beef yet, I should
Yet.
say. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to add, or as we finally roped you into doing the podcast? Or well, not finally. You said yes pretty quick, but
Yeah.
is there anything you wanted to make sure and say or get across?
No, I think we've said it all. I do. Unless you have any other questions.
No. I think that's it. That's all my questions, and so then we'll just close out. Thank you for being on the
You bet.
podcast.
Thank you.
And most importantly, thank you for the work you do
You
to
bet.
push the beef industry forward with genetics and everything that you're doing. We appreciate you, and as a consumer myself, I'm so grateful for quality beef on the table. And people that make the sacrifice through drought and through toughness and
Yeah,
all the
you
things.
bet.
So thank you again for being
Thank
on the
you.
podcast, and thanks to the listeners for tuning in for another episode. Behind the Burger is produced by the New Mexico Beef Council to celebrate the people and stories behind New Mexico beef. Thanks for listening. Follow the show so you never miss an episode, and connect with us on social media for more behind-the-scenes stories and updates. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at NM Beef, and on Facebook at NM Beef Council. We'll see you next time, and until then, beef, it's what's for dinner.